What's going on, everybody? This is Brian from sneakerfollows.com, recapping the news. And before I jump into things, like always, greatly appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. Now, there wasn't enough news to drop a video yesterday, so unfortunately, I had to drop it today. Now, we don't have a ton of news, but we do have some pretty big news. Now, we just received a first look at the Air Jordan 14 Ferrari, the 2025 pair, and those are looking really nice in my opinion. As well, there's a big update on the Air Jordan 5 medium soft pink. If you're a fan of that shoe, you definitely want to hear. That will be later on in the video. Now, there's more from Jordan Brand, including some new release dates, but also in this video is a strong lineup from Nike. And now, let's jump into the news. New images of the Nike Kobe 6 Protro Dodgers popped up, which makes sense. They did release a bit early. For those who don't know, they dropped it undefeated on March 15th. It was an early drop, as well as some baseball gear, which I thought was pretty dope. But with these new images, since I haven't talked about the shoes in a while, I thought I would showcase them. Now, overall, this is a really dope pair. I've been hearing a lot of people going crazy for them. But if you missed out on the March 15th release date, there is another release date. Now, the date that I have as of now is April 13th. However, I've heard May 30th, I believe, going around, and I'm just double checking this release date, but this is the initial release date that I had and I shared with you guys months back. I believe there's a few pairs of Kobe's also dropping on April 13th. They did that last year as well. And overall, I have a feeling that just all the pairs dropping on April 13th are going to be really sought after. This being maybe one or two, it's really hard to tell. I believe the Nike Kobe 8 Protro What the Kobe is also expected to drop on April 13th. Things could always change, but let me know your thoughts on this pair. Also, were you able to pick them up on March 15th? Also, the retail price will be $190. We recently received a first look at the Supreme Nike Air Max 1 in Varsity Purple. Now, in my opinion, this is one of the better colorways of the other two that we've seen, which is in white and black. Overall, it's still on the simple side, but I'm always a big fan of purple when it lands on a sneaker, so these are definitely nice. But going over the pair, they feature purple leather on the upper. We have white tumbled leather on the swoosh. World Famous in cursive lands on the heels, and just below it on the midsole, we have Supreme stamped in. World and Famous also lands on the lace tips. They also come with a lace doubre, and we have a white midsole, and what looks to be a black rubber outsole. It's kind of hard to tell. It could be purple as well. Unfortunately, this is only one image. It's just in two different angles. Now, at the time of recording, we don't have a specific release date. However, what I'm seeing is Supreme is dropping matching apparel this week. I believe on Thursday. Now, this isn't confirmed, but I do believe the shoes will drop on Thursday. Now, there is a chance that the shoes have been delayed for unknown reasons, maybe shipping issues and things like that. It just isn't known right now. Now, with all the apparel that recently leaked, the sneakers weren't showcased in there. But as you may know, there's 4 colorways dropping. One in white, one in black, one in purple, and one in yellow. And the apparel, pretty much all of it, had matching pieces for each of these sneakers. So it does make sense that it could drop Thursday. But again, that isn't confirmed. Hopefully I'll have another news video either on Thursday or before Thursday. I'm not entirely sure. So by then we should have confirmation. Also, the retail price is $170 each. In the last 2 weeks, if there's any time you logged onto Instagram, you probably saw images of the upcoming Nike Air Max 1 Donkey Kong. Now, the official name of the shoe is Big Head Origins. Now, this isn't an official collaboration with the Donkey Kong franchise, but the overall blocking elements used throughout the shoes connect to the classic video game. Now, the reason why I'm talking about them now is the release date is confirmed. They will drop on March 26, which, as most of you know, is Air Max Day. Now, just to go over the pair, they feature a light chocolate, university red, hemp, and sandrift colorway. Now, as you can see, they feature a hairy brown suede on the upper, which, of course, is a nod to his fur. We also have red and yellow detailing throughout for his tie. And just the rough cuts throughout, the edgy design that you see, is a nod to the video game's graphics in the 90s. I know, for me, I played this video game a ton. Another game that I could never beat But I did hear, I think I heard that the game is on the Nintendo Switch. Unfortunately, my Nintendo Switch broke, so I'll have to get a new one. Maybe I'll just wait to get the Switch 2. So maybe I'll give it a try to actually beat this as an adult. Who knows? But the shoes also come with the pixelated Nike logo on the tongue. And then the insoles have a banana peel graphic and DS coins on the insoles that represents the DK coins that you would collect throughout the game. There's also another coin on the heel, and then on the inside of the tongue, there's a rating label, which I thought was pretty dope. They also feature a yellow midsole and a brown rubber outsole. Now, what I'm hearing is, and you guys probably already know this pair is really, really limited. Definitely a pair that I would like to add to my collection. I just don't see it happening. I love when they have these old school retro games. I can't believe I'm saying games from the 90s are now old school and retro. When they have sneakers inspired by those, it just, it connects with my childhood. I'm sure some of you as well. But yeah, March 26th is the release date. You will be able to grab them on sneakers, and the retail price is $160. I remember there was a time, not too long ago, but maybe a year ago, people were asking me to showcase more Air Max releases, and at that time, they were more dropping GR colorways. Nothing too great. Don't get me wrong, GR colorways are dope. Some of them are. But with these videos, sometimes I have to pick and choose what I have to share or what I should share, just because if I shared every single thing in the video, it'd probably be 2 hours long, and I just couldn't do that, and I'm sure most of you don't want to sit through that. But for the most part, I do showcase it on the website. So probably the last month, we've been seeing a lot more dope Air Max releases. Now, one of the pairs that most of you are waiting to be released is the Nike Air Max 95 Neon. This is an OG colorway. It's a classic. I'm sure a lot of you guys want it. I do myself. Now, it's not going to be an easy to obtain shoe. I did leak in the last video the release details, and of course I'm going to go over that again. I'm sure you've seen everybody pick it up by now. Shout out to the people who gave credit. Now, a few more images did pop up of the shoes. Prior to this, we saw some decent photos that were going around, and that came from the Sneakers Live. Now, there was a spot in Japan, I believe it's called Blue Room, and they released the shoes super, super early. So that's why we have a few additional images. Now, from these images, and somebody pointed this out in the prior video, something I didn't notice, and the air unit around the heel actually has a seam through it. Most of the previous retros, they don't have that, and this is supposed to be a big bubble version, which really means that it's just closer to the OG, or it's on point compared to the OG. And I know a lot of people that are huge Air Max fans, they like when the air unit actually matches up to the OG. So I have been seeing a lot of people excited about this release, but for now we only have a couple new images. I'm anticipating getting my hands on a pair maybe around April 4th, maybe a little bit before. If I do, I also plan on doing a full review on these, and unfortunately I don't own any of the older releases. Well, I do, they're just thrashed. It's not even worth doing a review. I think a couple of them I threw away, but I do believe I have a friend who's going to let me borrow a couple of his pairs because he's a big Air Max collector. So we'll be able to do a comparison, hopefully. Now, as for the release date, the first drop is going to take place on April 4th. And this will be available in LA, New York, Chicago, and major I-95 cities. And then we're going to have a second launch take place on April 18th. This will be available on the Sneakers app, Neighborhood Doors, JD Sports, and select specialty partners. And the retail price is $185. Also, as some of you expected, and I shared this in the previous video, these are going to be on the limited side. Kind of expect the same treatment as the Galaxy Foams and even the Wu-Tang Dunks. They're not going to be as limited as the Air Max 1 Donkey Kongs, but they're still going to be on the limited side. It's been a while since I talked about the Nike Air DT Max 96 Love Letter to Connie. The reason for that is that no images leaked of the shoe, and there hasn't been an update. That, of course, changed. I did put out the release date, which I'm going to go over in this video. Now, what is shown is a mock-up, but I was able to see a sample pair, and what is releasing will look on point to this. Now, of course, things could change, but you can expect something very, very similar to this to be released. So, this pair is a tribute to Deion Sanders' mom, Connie Sanders, and the shoes feature a University Red, White, and Red Crush colorway. Now, I don't know if he'll have any additional special details connecting to his mom, but shown is what is expected to release as far as the color blocking goes. There could be something on the insoles. I just didn't get to see it. Now, I have a feeling these are going to do pretty well. Typically, the Air DT Max 96 does pretty well when it releases. And as for the release date, the pair will drop on May 7th, and the retail price will be $170. I believe it was in the last video, maybe it was the one prior, but we went over a first look at the Nike Air Foamposite 1 Psychic Blue, and yesterday official images popped up. So of course this gives us a better look. Now, it is confirmed obviously that the shoes feature a matte finish, and I like the matte finish a lot better than the initial look that we saw. Shout out to I am David NYC. He did post additional images that I had planned to feature in this video, but of course the official images popped up, so I had to feature those. But I wanted to give him a shout out because he sent me additional photos in a DM. Now, whenever a Foamposite has a matte finish, to me it reminds me of toothpaste. I don't know why, but I do like the shoes. Don't get me wrong, it's just something it reminds me of. Now, the official colorway is Psychic Blue in black, keeping things very simple. It does feature the shade of blue on the Foamposite shell with a matte finish, of course. We do have black nubuck on the upper. Black also covers the mesh tongue, laces, collar around the heel, and then it fills in the carbon fiber midfoot shank plate. Blue stripes also land on the pull tabs and outlines the white penny logo on the heel. Completing the look is a mostly translucent rubber outsole, but we do have black in the middle. But overall, I like them. They're nice. I like them more than the Black and Volt pair that recently dropped. I just like blue sneakers, so I'm going to gravitate towards this pair. I know some people do like the Black and Volt foams, so shout out to you guys. But if you want to grab this pair, we have a release date expected for May 2nd, and the retail price will be $230. Also, these will be a GR. It shouldn't be too hard to obtain your size. So yesterday was a pretty big day for Luka Doncic as Jordan Brand unveiled 2 upcoming sneakers. So one of them is the Jordan Luka 4, his latest signature shoe, and then the other pair is the Jordan Luka 77. Now, of course, being a big day yesterday, it's not as big as his trade to the Lakers. I feel bad for Dallas Mavericks fans. I know Lakers fans are happy, but let's get back into the sneakers. Now, Jordan Brand put out this huge press release, and the best way to go about this is to read from the press release. So that's what I'm going to do. There's going to be some boring parts, so I do apologize for that. If this isn't your thing, you can always fast forward, and I totally understand that. But reading from the press release. From the outdoor courts of his native Slovenia to the stadium lights of his new home in Los Angeles, Luka Doncic and his game are recognized worldwide as a beacon of basketball greatness. Now, with all eyes on Luka in his performance, the Lakers guard has a new tool to help him navigate his every step, cut and drive, the Luka 4. The performance silhouette leverages the best of Jordan Brand basketball innovation to help Luka create separation for an open look, finesse his way to the hoop, or find a teammate waiting at the ready. The Luka 4 features an evolution of Jordan Brand's proprietary ISO plate, a hallmark of Luka's signature line, which provides standout stability and torsional rigidity that keeps Luka locked in over the footbed, ready to make moves and leave defenders in the dust, inspiring the next generation of hoopers along the way. Included for the first time in the Luka signature line is a Nike Zoom Air unit, which delivers responsive cushioning for the best hoopers in the game and is paired with Cushlon 3.0 midsole for a smooth, comfortable ride. The Luka 4 also brings back breathable flight wire cables on the lateral side of the upper, recalling a detail Luka loved about his first signature silhouette to provide lightweight containment in a refined contemporary style. The Luka 4 is made exactly for my game, giving me a new tool to help me play my best and push my performance, says Luka. The ISO plate really helps me with my balance and my step backs. The Zoom Air unit adds a new level of responsiveness, and the Cushlon 3.0 midsole makes this a very comfortable shoe. Inscribed on the outsole is a compass that reads Luka instead of the standard directional NESW, taking direction from Luka's affinity for wristwatches, which inspires the design. A similar directional motif carries through the leading Luka 4 colorways, including the Navigate style inspired by the waters of Sylvania's Lake Bled. Available only in select markets, and the global Gone Fishing look that captures Luka's joy for fishing and boating while warning playoff opponents of his plan to send them packing for off-season vacation. An accompanying Luka apparel collection furthers the Gone Fishing theme across a hoodie, t-shirt, and short, connecting Luka, his game, and off-court passions with fans around the world. My favorite thing to do in the off-season is to get out on the boat and go fishing, which I've been doing since I was young, says Luka. I love the peace and the space of the ocean, driving the boat and getting some sun. Just like basketball, fishing teaches me patience and helps me relax and prepare for the next season. So before moving on to his next model, the first colorway to be released is known as Space Navigator. They're also being called Barely Green, and that pair is going to drop on April 8th. The retail price in adult sizing is $130, and grade school sizes will cost $100. Now the Gone Fishing pair, a release date has yet to be announced. And then there's also a Bloodline pair, which I'll feature, and a release date for that shoe has yet to be announced. Now, also dropping is a pair in Football Gray. The specific colorway on that shoe is Football Gray, Laser Blue, and Vapor Green. Those are going to drop summer 2025. Images of that shoe has yet to leak. There's another pair called Sapphire, and that shoe will feature a Sapphire, Argon Green, Laser Orange, and Flash Crimson colorway. They're also going to drop summer 2025 for $130. Now, the last pair is known as Flash Crimson, and I believe Luka wore these in a game. And the specific colorway is Flash Crimson, Black, Sunset Pulse, and Metallic Gold. These are going to drop holiday 2025, and the retail for these is $140 instead of $130. Now, moving on to the Jordan Luka 77. I'm going to get back to the press release at the end. I'll talk about the upcoming colorways and so forth. Harking back to Luka's childhood experience hooping on the outdoor courts of Sylvania, the Luka 77 is designed with full-length rubber and a high abrasion mesh that ensures the shoes last as long as possible no matter where hoopers put it to work. The silhouette, named after Luka's jersey number, leverages a full-length dual-density foam that pairs a firm outer layer and softer, more responsive interior with 7 strategic heel cutouts to deliver a comfortable ride and a plush landing that cater to the outdoor environment. An ISO plate carries forward the stability hoopers have grown to expect from Luka's signature footwear, and the high abrasion mesh delivers both durability and ventilation, allowing athletes to stay fresh no matter how much the game or the temperature heats up. The Luka 77 is for the kids and for anyone who hoops outdoors, says Luka. When I was young, I used to play mostly outside, but didn't have footwear made for that environment, so I wanted to make a shoe for the next generation, giving them a tool to help them develop their game wherever they lace up. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up in the 90s, and I played a lot of basketball. That was my first love. I was decent, not anymore, but then I was. All I did was play outdoors. I felt like it was a privilege if at any point you got to play indoors, like at your local YMCA. That's what I did. I played in a league there. But anyways, I would always use basketball shoes. Actually, I was rocking Payless shoes for a lot, and then I finally got some Nikes at Ross and so forth. But I don't know, back then I would wear any basketball shoe on the outdoor court, and yeah, they got messed up over time, but that's just what happened. That's just my thoughts, but not to take away from what he's doing here. It's actually a dope shoe. Some people have said that it's a lifestyle shoe. I don't know where they got that from. This is more of a takedown shoe, if anything. It's a cheaper, well, I shouldn't say cheaper, but a more affordable option that's available. But the overall look is nice. For a takedown model, these are really dope. They kind of remind me of the Jordan 38, the midsole a little bit, even the 39. More so the 39, just the low profile look of it. But the first colorway to be released is the Luka 77 Space Navigator. They're also called that. And that pair features a black, hyper pink, and barely green colorway. They're going to drop on April 8th for $100. So $30 cheaper than the Luka 4. And these are pretty nice. Now, they also previewed the Luka 77 Dongdan. We don't know the specific colorway on those. More than likely, they'll release overseas exclusively. Sadly, we don't have a release date, and the retail price will be $100. Now, on my list of upcoming sneakers, there's also a K54 Luka 77 dropping. That shoe will feature a black and tour yellow colorway. And those are going to drop summer 2025, and they're expected to retail at $100. So let me know your thoughts about the Luka 4 and the Luka 77. I actually like both models. Look-wise, I kind of like the 77 a little bit more, just being honest. But let me know your thoughts down below. Okay, so I probably should have featured this in my previous video when I did go over the A Ma Maniére Air Jordan 5 in Violet Ore, and that is on feet photos. So from the same individual who gave us what I was told is an authentic first look, also showcased on feet images. For some reason, I didn't showcase it in the previous video, but in this one, I'm going to share it with you guys. Now, the shoes feature a white, Violet Ore, burgundy crush, and black colorway. I've seen some people like the shoes. I've seen some people dislike them. It seems like this pair may be one of the easier collabs to obtain this year. I could be wrong on that. It's just what I'm seeing going around, just giving an opinion, kind of judging it. Now, in my opinion, what would have made this pair a lot better is if the number 23 was updated. If it featured the OG style 23 font, which will be used on the fire red with the black tongue pair, that would have been so dope in my opinion. It would have really upped this shoe. I think for the simple fact is because I'm excited about the updated font, and just being the first shoe to return with it, I probably would pick them up then. Overall though, they look premium. Of course, you want to get them in hand to tell. They do feature a quilted liner, something we've seen on previous A Ma Maniére collabs. And the shades of brown and burgundy, I see why people like it. I think I'm kind of just burnt out on it, to be honest. A lot of A Ma Maniére's collabs have been the same kind of color scheme. Yes, we're finally getting a diffused blue pair. I just wish, and I know that A Ma Maniére could be more creative. And of course, he could work on different models. I know he's going to work on the Air Jordan 6 later this year. That's dope. But I would love to see a Jordan 14. Let's get some models that people don't really care about or like a lot less than the Jordan 3, 4, 5, and so forth. But just wanted to showcase the on-feet photos. As of now, they're expected to drop May 14th. That could change. And the retail price will be $225. Okay, so there's been a slight release date change for the Air Jordan 3 Rare Air. And this new release date could also change as well. So I wanted to keep you guys in the loop of things just going forward. Now, initially, I was reporting that the shoes would drop on April 12th. I actually said that for some time, but recently I found out that the shoes will actually drop on April 19th. Now, again, there is a possibility they could be delayed again. But of course, I wanted to give you the updated release date because I know there's a lot of sources out there. I don't even want to call them sources, but a lot of people out there saying wrong release dates for a lot of shoes. They're not updating their stuff. And you know what? I just want to keep you guys updated on the channel. And that's kind of what I always strive to do. But this pair is really nice in my opinion. This is definitely one of the better Rare Air releases. This is either 1 or 2. It's interchangeable with the Jordan 4. I'm really liking the shape here. Even though it has suede, usually I don't like suede on my Jordan 3s. I like my elephant print, but it actually looks good. Now, a unique element about this shoe is the Nike Air on the right heel will be backwards. I'm not sure why that is, I'm going to be honest with you. I do know the Rare Air series, each pair has something unique, something different about it. So it could just be simply that, or there could be a bigger meaning. I'm not entirely sure at this point. Now, part of the Rare Air series is the Air Jordan 1 High OG Rare Air Cinnabar, and I do have that shoe on hand. So I'm going to do a short on those. I'm not going to do a review. But what I will say is that the tissue paper on the inside, it's unique. It has pictures of the entire collection. So I'm going to go through that tonight and see if I spot out any meanings behind anything. And then if there is, I'll report back to you guys. But for now, April 19th is the release date. Also, I was reporting that the retail price was $215. It's actually $210, so I did get an update on that. So $5 cheaper, I'm cool with that. I'm sure a lot of you are as well. So I have a pretty big update on the Air Jordan 5 35th anniversary. That is what Jordan Brand is calling the shoe. Some might be calling them medium soft pink. I feel like medium soft pink might be a better name for them just because overall, the Jordan 5 is celebrating its 35th anniversary. All shoes are. So every release is to celebrate the milestone. But nonetheless, I do have a pretty big update on this shoe. Now, just a heads up, what is shown is a mock-up, but this is an accurate mock-up of what's releasing. Now, I recently talked to somebody who saw these in hand, a good friend of mine, and he had told me that the shoes will feature a 3M reflective upper. So, kind of like the Green Bean Air Jordan 5, this shoe will feature a reflective upper. So, it'll feature white, but it'll be reflective. I don't know if I like that or not. I definitely need to see a first look. But the pair will also feature Nike Air branding on the heel. Something I think is dope because this isn't obviously an OG colorway. It does feature somewhat of the same blocking as the fire red with a black tongue Air Jordan 5, but it has a silver tongue. Now, another unique element that I was told that the shoe will have is the updated 23 font. So it'll be closer to the OG. Overall, you can expect the ankle to be slimmed down a bit, the toe to look a lot better than some of these early pairs that are going around, like the toe box on the black metallic reimagined 5s, which in my opinion look a lot better. Now, the official colorway on these is white, medium soft pink, and black. Now, what I'm seeing is a lot of people saying that this is a women's release, and in fact, it's not. It's a men's release, and they're going to be released in full family sizing. Now, I don't know the retail price for grade school and down just yet, but they will drop in grade school, preschool, and toddler sizing. But the retail price in adult sizing is $210. Now, as for the release date, they are currently scheduled to drop on October 11th. So we have quite a bit of time before we get a first look and before these actually release. But in my opinion, I like them. I think they're dope. I don't know if I'll be able to pull them off. I know whenever I talk about a pink shoe and liking them, I say I can't pull them off and people said you can. I don't know about that, but maybe one of these times I'll try. And I'll have to share some images with you guys here on the channel, and you can give me your opinion on it. But let me know your thoughts on this pair down in the comment section below. Now, I'm super excited about this release. And we just received a first look at the Air Jordan 14 Ferrari, the 2025 pair. And in my opinion, they do look on point to the original release. Now, sadly, I never owned the OG pair. I was going through sneaker issues then, that's what I call them, when I'm tired of buying sneakers and I just stop. I go on these little 2, 3, 4 month stops and then eventually I come back. Unfortunately, that happened when these dropped, and then when I went back to get them, there were so many fakes being passed around, I just didn't want to even deal with it, so I held off on getting them. Now, this first look actually comes from eBay. There is an individual who's selling pairs early on eBay, and he wants a lot. He wants $400. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I debated about picking them up early just to do a review on the channel, but I didn't do it because, for one, $400 is steep. For two, if I'm going to drop $400, I might as well pick up the OG and then in a couple months, or less than a couple months, pick up the retro, because yes, I do want both pairs. My ultimate goal is to have every Air Jordan 14 that released in my collection, so eventually I do have to pick them up. And three, I don't know where this person got them from. Now, if people buy early shoes, that's fine, but for me, I feel like I can't buy shoes this early unless I know where it comes from. There are cases where retailers that I'm friends with do get some shoes a bit early. At most, though, it's about a month. Now, this is actually about 2 months or so ahead of the release because a lot of people are saying April, but in fact, they're going to drop in June. So if I knew exactly where they came from, if I knew the individual, I still wouldn't pay $400, but I probably would pick them up for about $300. Get a review out to you guys, and hopefully a comparison of the older pair, the pair that originally dropped in 2014. But yeah, from this early look, the suede red upper looks good. The carbon fiber detailing, I really like that about this shoe. And of course, the yellow hits, it looks great in my opinion. Now, when these do drop, which they're currently scheduled to be released on June 11th, they should be available in adult and grade school sizing, and that's it. So I don't know the retail price for grade school just yet, but adult sizing will cost $210. And as most of you know, Jordan Brand does cut the production down on the Jordan 14. Just because if they make it a GR, they're going to sit. It's not a love shoe. It's my favorite model, so for anybody listening for the first time, I feel like they should make it a GR, but I totally understand Jordan Brand's business moves in this case. But yes, I'm definitely picking these up. Maybe 2 pairs, maybe 3 pairs. I'm not entirely sure. And like I mentioned, the release date is currently scheduled for June 11th, and the retail price is $210. And that's going to do it for this video. Like always, greatly appreciate you guys for watching. If you have a second and haven't done so already, also appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. One more thing, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted every time I drop a new video. Now, as for videos this week, for sure 2 to 3 more shorts, I gotta do those, and another news video. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit of a secret. So if you're listening now, and when I drop the next video, let me know that you heard this part. But I'm going to be dropping a pretty big update this week. It's a kind of a big bombshell. Some of you might be happy with it. Some of you might be upset. I can't elaborate anymore because I need to keep it under wraps. I don't want anybody else to get it and them leak it. But I'm quite confident that I will be the first to let you guys know, of course. It's going to be on the channel first. Collaborating with Z, of course, on this. Him and I did a lot of extensive research, a lot of contacting, and the reason why it's not in this video is because the last confirmation came really, really late, and I have to prep things in order to get it all ready, but hopefully that makes sense. But again, when you watch the next video, if you heard this part, leave a comment and let me know that you heard it. I want to see if people actually listen to the outro. But for this video, let me know what you liked or disliked down below. Or if you have any questions, leave those down below. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to sneakerfiles.com. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe.